Hey everyone, it's Dominique from Shitngiggles. Welcome. Sorry it's been a while since I've made a video. Been busy, kids been sick, just typical adulting stuff. Anyway, I guess today's video, which a friend of mine said would be hard to top the last two because, Tinder fucked up dates. I guess the biggest thing is identifying myself as a Canadian to people. Now, bear in mind, I really am a Canadian. I'm born and raised in Canada. I don't speak any Asian language at all, despite the look of this, you know, but it always throws people off because you have the stereotype and you have the looks, the physical features. I don't have the accent, but anyway. So people automatically assume that I'm from China, Japan, Thailand, pick an Asian country. So it's quite interesting when I tell people, no, actually, I'm Canadian, and they're just like, okay. And this is a typical conversation between me and a complete stranger, whether it be on the street, whether it be the pizza delivery guy, whether it be, at the bar, mutual friends, whatever. Like, hi, I'm Dominique. Hi, I'm Joe. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from Canada. Canada? Really? I'm like, yeah, yeah, go me. And, it turns into like a little bit of conversation about Canada, usually some sort of politic conversation and some sort of like sports. And I'm like the shittiest Canadian out there. So, of course, I already look like a horrible Canadian because I don't follow sports. I don't follow hockey. I don't know anything about hockey whatsoever. Just, I'm from the same place as Sidney Crosby. That's about it. So then it turns into like they don't believe me, but my name is French, so I must speak French. Well, no, I don't, sorry. And, well, okay, what about this and that? How is the weather compared to here? How is the nature? How is the lifestyle? What is better? And I give my personal opinion. And then it turns into, Joe or whoever saying, like, oh, so you're really Canadian? Yeah, I'm really Canadian, born and raised and la di da, like I said the first time. Okay, but are you really Canadian? Well, I love maple syrup. Yeah, yeah, I'm a Canadian. Okay, I don't think you understand what I'm trying to say. Are you really from Canada? Like, yeah, dude, I'm born in Halifax. Okay, okay, but, you know, I don't know if you know this, but you look a little Asian. And I'm just like, well, shit, I had no idea. Thank you for informing me. So it's interesting to see how people perceive, Canadians or Americans, North Americans in general, and how they should look. But I've been changing things up, so sometimes I'm just like, I really had no idea, and then sometimes, it's not, they don't say about my looks necessarily, but they'll say, well, you look a little Asian, like I didn't fucking know that. Or it will turn into something like, okay, okay, you still don't get my question. Where are your parents from? And I'm like, oh, well, one's from, this Asian country and one's from that Asian country, biologically speaking. Aha, so you're Chinese. And I'm like, well, I still identify as Canadian. I mean, honestly, like, I don't speak, read, write any Chinese whatsoever. I didn't get the opportunity to learn. Apparently, I was a very stubborn child, and I didn't go to Chinese language school or anything. I didn't have any relatives that spoke Chinese at my younger years growing up. And I don't speak French. I didn't go to a French school or a French immersion, so there's that as well. But it's really interesting. I guess people assume that you can only be white with blonde, brown, black, red hair, you know, to be a Canadian. I guess is what they were trying to say. And because I don't know anything about hockey, I don't ski, I don't skate, I don't this, I don't that, I don't speak French, but I like maple syrup. So I guess it's pretty interesting for a Finn to see me, say that I'm a Canadian and that I represent something that they had no idea existed. Anyway, just thought it was pretty funny and thought I would share. So never make any assumptions about people. I try not to. And I can also understand, like they're not trying to be rude. But I can also understand people that, just take one look at me and they're like, oh, you're Canadian. I bet you are. And then there's the other side of the coin where people are able to speak Chinese or another Asian language and they greet me in Chinese. It happened at my last work practice, actually. This lady came up to me, quite posh looking, and she just, started greeting me in Chinese and started talking her head off to me. And I responded back in Finnish, like, I'm sorry, I don't speak Chinese. And she's like, well, yes, you do. And I was like, well, actually, no, I don't. Thanks for being a bitch. And I just, looked at her funny and I said, no, really, like, and I switched to English so she could hear that I do not have an Asian accent. And I just said, look, you got the wrong person. I do not speak Chinese whatsoever. And she just said, well, why not? And she got all uppity about it. And it's like, you don't know me. It was my first day of work there. You don't know me. You don't know my life situation or, how I was raised, linguistically speaking, which was only in English. So why are you getting so upset? Lady, you're crazy. And she never tried again. She switched to English whenever she saw me. I don't know why, because my Finnish was good enough to have basic conversation with her. But yeah, it was interesting, and she's not the only one. I've had situations where my my ex-husband's cousin told me one day we were standing in the kitchen, one of our last trips before moving to Finland, 8 years ago, and he just said, your English is really good. And I just looked at him, and he was maybe 19, and I was like 22, 23. And I just looked at him and I was like, excuse me? And then at this point, he thought I couldn't speak English. So he decided to speak slower and use some sort of hand language. So he was just like, you speak English very good. And I just waited, and I just waited to see if he was pulling my leg or just, dicking around. And his father was like embarrassed, and his aunt, my ex-mother-in-law, she was embarrassed. My ex was like laughing his head off. And, the kid, he was just like, what's so funny, guys? I'm just trying to be nice. Like, Dominique's English is really good. And I just looked at him and I was like, dude, I'm a Canadian. I was born here. I speak English. And he just went really, really red because he had assumed this whole time that I was fresh off the boat, fresh off the plane, I don't know. And the best part of all this is that it wasn't his first time meeting me, and he's heard me speak English and speak and talk and, use slang and swear and everything in English. So, to each their own, right? Anyway, thanks for watching. You like what you see and you want more videos? Click subscribe. Ciao!